Welcome to the Tony Gaskin Show, best-selling author, celebrity life coach, and international speaker. The purpose of this show is to bring you motivation, inspiration, and education in the areas of life, love, and business. Thank you for joining me. Now let's get started. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Talks with Tony. Got another question today, and it says, "Hi, Tony. I hope you read this question and that you are able to help me. Hey, I hope I'm on time for you. My name is Anonymous, and I'm 27 years old. When I was 19, I met a man that would end up becoming my son's father when I was 22. We were in an on and off relationship during that time. I've always struggled with being able to let go of that relationship because I wanted to give my son a family. My son's father has 3 other children and has not been the best father over the years to my son. But I've always tried to keep the door open, hoping he would change. I wasn't raised by my parents, so I desperately wanted that for my son. Although my son's father does not care too much about being a good father, he comes around to see my son more if me and him are sexually involved at the time. I've asked him if he wants to be with me or sees a future for us, and he tells me no. I've still been somewhat involved with him over the years because my son loves for the 3 of us to be together and always tells me he wants a family. As a parent, that's hard to hear. I recently told my son's father that I felt we should no longer be sexually involved because it was leading nowhere and the relationship was bringing me no value. He said he was cool with us, but now he no longer wants to come around or spend any time with my son. I'm in a good place in my career. I'm happy with the amount of education and success I've obtained so far at my age, but this one thing I can't find a solution to. How should I deal with this situation? Any advice you have is helpful. I would like to be in a healthy, happy relationship one day. Thank you, Anonymous." So, thanks so much for that question. So 19, you're 27 now. So it's been 8 years. You got pregnant, became a mother at 22. So about 2-3 years that you were dealing with him. Been off and on. He has other kids now. So now he has other kids. Let me see how many kids you say he has. 3 other children. So he has 4 kids now, and you kept the door open, and you weren't raised by your parents. So see, all of that goes in together. Met him when you were 19. Young, dumb, and full of, you know the slogan. Then you got pregnant at 22. Now he becomes the community ding-a-ling, and he goes and has 3 other kids. So now he has 4 kids. I would imagine y'all are around the same age, but you did not say his age. But he has 4 kids, and he's not a good father. So he's a deadbeat. He's lost. He's confused. He's immature. He's a grown boy. I'm pretty sure he has some vices like some weed or some alcohol. And he's just all over the place. And he's terrible because he's not a man. He's not a man because he's still hurting, lost, confused, and stuck in the grown boy mentality. Here you are, have an education, have a job, you're in a good place in your career, you feel good about your life success, but this one thing that you're dealing with, and that's this man. You are dating down. You're not dating down, you're dealing down. You're dealing with somebody who's not on your level. You're unequally yoked whenever you deal with him. You keep your legs open to him, and you did not say if he brought you a disease yet. And if he hasn't, if you continue, eventually he will. It's just that common these days. You know, herpes and other sexually transmitted diseases. Some say in some demographics as many as 50% of people have herpes. So it's very, very common. If you don't have a disease already, you will have one soon if you continue to sleep with him. So I want you to first understand that. And now picture raising your son and moving on into a relationship with a sexually transmitted disease that you cannot get rid of. If you had that, I'm pretty sure you would have mentioned it because most people do. So you still have been spared. You also only have one son. So you're 27. Your son's around 5 years old. Your son says he wants a family. Every child does. But not every child has a family. And they are just fine if the mother is strong and stable. So he comes around when he's having sex with you. So he's not coming to see his son, he's coming to have sex with you. Because if he was coming to see his son, he would still be coming to see his son. So you don't have to tell your son, hey, your dad doesn't love you, your dad doesn't care about you, and your dad doesn't want to see you, because that may crush him. So you may have to make an excuse and say, your dad is just really, really busy. He's just really, really busy. He's working really, really hard, and he's just busy. Or your dad has gone away. He's gone away. He's in the army. You may have to make up something that you tell him. And then you may have to tell his father, your son is asking about you and he's saying he wants a family. I don't want to tell him that you don't love him and that you don't care for him. So can you give me an idea of what I should tell him? And let him deal with that. Hey, guess what? I would like to connect with you in a more personal way. Have you ever thought about having a life coach? Have you ever felt like you needed to be around like-minded people? Are you trying to grow and learn more and push yourself to the next level? If that is you, then my new group is for you. Now in this group, I have over 10 courses online that you can go through at your own pace. You can log out and log in as many times as you like. Inside of the system, you can also send me personal messages that I will personally respond to. We also have monthly power calls. Depending on your level of membership, you have access to the live call where I will share an on-time message and open the line for Q&A. In those same membership levels, you have access to the private Facebook group where you can connect and build with like-minded people to support one another. You also receive 1 to 2 free tickets to the annual conference. So look, I created this for you to remove all excuses. You have no excuse now to remain the same. So visit GaskinsUniversity.com, GaskinsUniversity.com, and join the group. I look forward to working with you, and we will see you at the top. He may ignore it, he may brush it off, and so you have to use your own wisdom. Maybe a family counselor or therapist can tell you what you should say to your son in this situation. And so I would say do that. Just Google family therapist in whatever city you live in, and you'll see on Google, you'll see like 10 different companies will come up. You click images, you can look at their pictures, choose them by their look, or you can click on their link to their website, read about them. At least go do 1 or 2 sessions with a family therapist and get an idea of how you should, tell your son about this, or what you should use to tell your son. Be careful. Some therapists will tell you something that makes the situation worse, so that you got to keep coming back to them, so you keep paying them. Be mindful. And but they probably also will tell you something you can use that you can walk away with in that first session. And so you have to implement that. Here's the key. It's not about having a family. See, therapy will be good for you as well, because you need to explore the pain that you have, because you're dealing with some pain from not being raised by your parents. So you want a family for your son, just like you said. So you already understand the root of the problem of why you're being treated less than, allowing yourself to be treated this way, is because you want to give your son something that you didn't have. See, you weren't raised by your parents, but you are your son's mother. So your son will still have you. Majority of our African-American NBA and NFL players were just raised by their mother. Majority of our, Barack Obama, who was our president, he was raised by his mom. And so people become presidents. People become pro athletes. People become doctors and lawyers just being raised in a single parent home by their mother or father. And so you have what it takes to raise your son. And it is better to raise your son by yourself, knowing you love him fully, than to try to force a situation. To try to force a situation with his father, knowing that his father is unstable and inconsistent and doesn't really love him. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that and realize that you have to understand that this is on you. And the reason why his dad is telling you, well, I don't want to come around anymore, is just to coerce you into sex, because he knows how bad you want to have a family. You got to show him that you'd rather love yourself and be a strong example for your son than to compromise to sleep with him. So understand that. Understand that. Be okay with that. And let him stay away. Because it's better to have one whole parent than two half parents, meaning two half people who are not whole and they're empty and feeding off one another and suffocating or draining one another because they are codependent and not interdependent. So codependent is not healthy, and that is what you have been and become. And so you have to break these ties. You got to break this soul tie and separate yourself. And don't even check for his father. Let his father call you. Let him say, hey, can I speak to my son? And that's all you talk to him about. Not about, oh, can we get back together? Listen to me when I tell you. Listen to me when I tell you this. Listen to me when I tell you this. It is over. It is over. It is dead. There is no hope. There is no hope whatsoever. You have to get that in your mind, that there is no hope whatsoever for this man in the state that he's in, unless he meets Jesus and he becomes a replica of Jesus Christ, to where you feel the anointing dripping off of him when he's in your presence. There is absolutely no hope at all. He does not want you. He does not want a relationship. He does not want to be a father to his son. He is lost. He is confused. He is hurting. He is damaged. He is broken. And I say all of this so you don't got to feel sorry for him, but just pray for him. Just pray for him. If you pray for him. He can use it, all of it, every syllable in your prayer, he can use it. But you need to try to keep him as far from your son as possible, because he's unstable. And when he becomes stable and he's ready to be a man and he's living right and doing the right thing, don't mean you have to be a devout Christian, but meaning he's not getting drunk and high, not in any criminal activity. When he is in the right place, then that's when you can really start to encourage him to be around your son. Until that time comes, keep your distance. Keep your distance. Let him do what he thinks he's doing. He's trying to coerce you. That's all he's trying to do. Coercion by fear, in the words of Dr. Gary Chapman and wherever he learned it from. Coercion by fear. But all righty. Hey, I thank you so much for sending in your question. If you have a question, please send it to inbox@TonyGaskins.com. Inbox@TonyGaskins.com. God bless you. We'll talk soon. Hey, don't forget to join us on GaskinsUniversity.com. GaskinsUniversity.com. If you need some extra courses, an extra push, a powerful team pushing you to the next level of success, visit GaskinsUniversity.com today.